At 3:03 a.m., my radio turned itself on. It shouldn't have been able to. I was asleep in my bedroom. My rig is in the garage. An old ICOM R75, tuned to 4625 kHz, the frequency of the buzzer. UVB-76. The antenna coax was on the floor, unplugged. The power strip was off. A blast of static woke me up. Not a soft hiss, a harsh, angry crackle, like someone keyed a mic right next to my ear. Then a child's voice. Too clear, too close. No static on the voice itself, which is impossible on shortwave. 7, 14, 22, 9. A long pause. I could hear the faint hum of the buzzer underneath. Michael Park. I sat bolt upright. My heart was hammering against my ribs. My name is Michael Park. I go by Mike on the air. My call sign is K7MYP. I have never, in 12 years of logging, ever used my last name Park on the air, and my middle name is Joseph. No one knows that. I hate it. The voice continued, same flat, childlike cadence. 3, 1941. Then the buzzer came back. That ugly, endless, low buzzing. Buzz, 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 25 times a minute. It has been buzzing since 1976. I walked into the garage. It was January in Oregon. The concrete was freezing. My breath fogged. The radio's green display was on 4625.0 kHz. Anything. The power strip light was off. Dark. I pulled the power cord out of the wall. The display stayed on for 7 seconds. Still buzzing. Still glowing. With no power. Then it died. That was night 1. If you have never listened to shortwave, you need to understand what it is. Shortwave is not FM. It's not a podcast. It's the wild west of the radio spectrum. Signals bounce off the ionosphere. You can hear a fisherman in Japan and a preacher in Brazil on the same dial. And that night, especially between 2 a.m. and 4 a.m., the band opens up. We call it the graveyard window. Less interference, longer skip. During the Cold War, both sides used it to talk to spies. Numbers stations. A robotic voice reading numbers. Lincolnshire Poacher, Swedish Rhapsody, attention. One-way messages. A government talking to a person who can never answer. UVB-76 the Buzzer is the most famous. It started in 1976, somewhere in Russia, just buzzing. Us, us, us. No one ever claimed it. Then, maybe twice a month, the buzzer stops and a Russian voice reads a name and numbers. Then the buzzer comes back. No explanation was ever officially given. Most people think it's a dead hand system. If Russia gets nuked, the buzzer stops, and missiles launch automatically. Maybe. But no one knows. I have listened to it for years. It never said a name I recognized. Until that night. On night 2, I was ready. I set up my Zoom H6 recorder, antenna connected. At 2:50 a.m., I sat in my garage in a camping chair, with coffee that went cold. At exactly 3 o'clock a.m., the buzzer stopped. 3 seconds of dead air. So quiet I could hear my computer fan. So quiet it felt like the world was holding its breath. Then the child's voice. 11, 3, 27, 15. Pulse. Michael Park. Sarah Chen. David Cole. I froze. Sarah Chen is in my private Discord. She's a listener in Vancouver. Good operator. Very careful. She never uses her real name on air either. I typed in Discord. Sarah, you hearing 4625 right now? She replied instantly. Mike, yes. Same frequency. It just said my name. It said my full name. Then, a minute later, my rig just turned on by itself. I swear I unplugged it. Then she went offline. Boy, I thought her internet dropped. 2 days later, her brother joined the Discord with her account. He said Sarah hadn't shown up for work at the hospital. Her apartment was locked from the inside. Deadbolt, chain, her car in the lot, phone, keys, purse on the counter, and her shortwave rig was on. Tuned to 4625 kHz, volume all the way up, just static and that buzzer. Loud enough that neighbors complained. He said one detail that I can't get out of my head. He said the radio was warm, hot, actually, like it had been transmitting for hours. Police called it voluntary missing. No forced entry. No note. According to her brother's account, they didn't take the radio as evidence. I started digging that night. I didn't sleep. I found a thread on an archive of a now-deleted forum called HF Underground. User, Static Hunter 88. Date, October 14th, 2018. Time, 3:14 a.m. Title, 4625 307 a.m. Broadcast Child Voice Plus Names Log. He logged. Heard at 3:07 a.m. on 4625 Child Voice. Numbers, then 7 names. Elena Voss, Marcus Bell, Jennifer Ortiz, Thomas Wu, Priya Desai, Daniel Price, Robert Hayes. I searched every name. This took me 2 days. Elena Voss, 26, missing from Spokane since October 18, 2018, 4 days after his log. Her family said she was into shortwave. Marcus Bell, 41, missing from Montana since October 20th, 2018. His wife told a local news article his radio was found on. Tuned to static. Jennifer Ortiz, 33, missing from Utah since October 21st, 2018. Thomas Wu, 29, missing since October 2020, 2018. Priya Desai, 31, missing since October 23rd, 2018. Daniel Price, 36, missing since October 24th, 2018. And Robert Hayes. That's Static Hunter 88. His real name. He went missing on October 29th, 2018, 5 days after his last post. His last post was just one line. It said my name again tonight. Louder this time. It's not a recording. It knows I'm listening. 7 names. 7 missing. All shortwave listeners. All within 15 days of hearing their name at 3 a.m. on 4625. I felt sick. This is when you start to realize you are not the listener. You are being listened to. Night 3. I did the dumbest thing of my life. I answered. I set up at 2:55 a.m. Recorder on. Mic ready. Antenna connected. I told myself I would not be a victim. I would get a response. I would prove it was a prank. Some kid with a hack RF. At 3 o'clock a.m. sharp, the buzzer stopped. Dead air. Child's voice. 4:18:33 12. Michael Park. I keyed my mic. My hand was shaking so hard I could barely hold the button. Who is this? Who is saying my name? Identify yourself. This is K7MYP. For 2 seconds, nothing. Just static. Then the voice changed. It was not a child anymore. It was flat. Adult. Male. And it was not on 4625. It was right on top of my signal. Like it was transmitting from 2 feet away. From inside my garage. You answered. 2 words. No emotion. The buzzer came back, but now it was loud, painfully loud, and underneath it, I could hear them. Whispers, dozens of them, all whispering at once. Numbers, names, but layered. I ripped the antenna coax out of the back of the radio. Hard. The radio stayed on, still buzzing, still whispering. I pulled the power strip, pulled the wall cord. The green display stayed on 4625 kHz. Still buzzing. 7 seconds with no power. Just glowing in the dark. Then it died. I was breathing hard, sweating in a freezing garage. I took the SD card from my recorder and drove to my friend Frank's house. Frank is 68, retired broadcast engineer for NPR. He has a shop full of oscilloscopes. He opened my R75. He looked at the power supply board and frowned. Mike, your main filter cap is blown. Look, it's bulged. This radio should not turn on at all. It can't. There's no way it received anything last night. He asked me to play the recording. At 3:02 a.m., under the buzzer, there is something. On my cheap laptop speakers. You can't hear it, but Frank has good monitors. He boosted the audio 30 decibels. You don't hear whispering numbers. You hear whispering of a phrase. Same phrase, over and over in different voices. Children, old men, women, young men, stay tuned, over and over, stay tuned, stay tuned, stay tuned, and one voice, very faint, female, young. I recognized it. It was Sarah Chen, her voice, saying stay tuned. Frank went pale. That afternoon, I looked up David Cole, the third name from night 2. David Cole, 34, Boise, Idaho, missing since January 11th, 4 days before Sarah. His wife told the Idaho Statesman his shortwave radio was found on, tuned to static, volume maxed, hot to the touch, just like Sarah's. According to that article, police found his logbook. Last entry, 4625 303 a.m. Child, my name not possible. I didn't go into the garage that night. I stayed in my bedroom. Put in phone earplugs. Put a pillow over my head. At 3:00 a.m. I heard it anyway. Muffled through the earplugs, through the wall. The buzzer. Us, coming from the garage. At 3:03 a.m. my bedroom phone rang. I don't have a landline. I disconnected it 2 years ago when I cut the cord. The wall jack in my bedroom is empty. No phone plugged in. The wire in the wall is cut. It rang. A real, old-fashioned bell ring. Once, twice. Without thinking, I picked up the cordless handset that I keep in my closet as a backup. It had no bass, no power. I put it to my ear. Child's voice, crystal clear, no static. 7, 14, 22, 9. Michael Puck, we are holding your place. Stay tuned. Like, the handset was warm. Like someone had been holding it to their ear for a long time. I left. I grabbed my keys, my laptop, my recorder, and I drove. I drove north on I-5. No destination. At 3:00 a.m. the next night, I was in a motel outside Seattle. The motel alarm clock radio turned on by itself 3:00 a.m. Buzzer. Then my name. It's not the radio. It never was a radio. The frequency 4625 is not a station. It's a window. The buzzer is not a signal. It's a fence. Something built during the Cold War not to keep people out, but to keep something in. And at 3 a.m., when the ionosphere thins, the fence has a gap. And whatever is on the other side does a roll call. It lists the ones it has, and it adds new ones. It learns your name when you listen, and once you answer, it never stopped broadcasting for you. I am recording this final part at 2:47 a.m. in my car. I can hear a faint buzzing from my trunk. My go bag has my handheld shortwave in it. It's off. No batteries. But I can hear it buzzing. If you own any kind of radio shortwave, ham, even a cheap AM, do not tune to 4625 kHz at 3 a.m. Do not log it. Do not post about it. Do not record it. And if you hear a child's voice reading numbers, and then your name, do not answer. Do not say a word. Unplug everything. Leave the house. Drive. Because there is always an empty slot in the broadcast. And tonight, I think it's going to say your name next.